Right now with the hostage crisis in the Israel-Hamas war. The Israeli military announced just moments ago that a female soldier who was kidnapped by Hamas has been released during a ground operation inside Gaza. Now, they say she's in good medical condition and is reunited with her family. Before her release, Israel revealed the number of people held captive has risen, now sitting at 238. A former U.S. official with knowledge of the conversations tells NBC News Hamas will not commit to releasing a large number of foreign hostages and are insistent on receiving fuel.
Israel is now intensifying their attacks on Hamas, beginning a new phase of operations. The country is sending more troops on the ground into Gaza, engaging in street-to-street fighting. Israeli troops are encountering members of Hamas who, quote, barricaded themselves into buildings. Israel is hitting Hamas targets by a combination of ground, air, and sea attacks. The Israeli Air Force dropped these flyers that you're looking at in northern Gaza today, warning the remaining residents to flee. They're saying it's unsafe and that Hamas is exploiting shelters and hospitals. NBC News foreign correspondent Josh Lederman joins us now from Jerusalem. So, Josh, talk to us about that hostage that has been freed. This is incredible news. And also walk us through the new ground operations inside Gaza.
Yeah, this is a big development. Her name is Private Ori Megidish, and she is the first Israeli soldier to be freed since the terror attacks just about 3 weeks ago, in which so many civilians but also Israeli troops were captured by Hamas. Because remember, Hamas has made clear that while they were open to releasing civilians, that they had no intention whatsoever of releasing Israeli troops that were captured unless there was a swap for Palestinian prisoners who are held by Israel. But she was not freed by Hamas. She was freed instead, according to Israel's military and its internal security service, by Israeli troops during one of these ground raids that they have been conducting over the last few days that we have been talking about, where they have been pushing deeper and deeper into the Gaza Strip. It was apparently during one of those raids tonight when Israeli troops were able to secure Private Megidish and bring her safely back to Israel, where she's been reunited with her family. But it comes as Israel really has been pushing farther into the Gaza Strip than it had been just a couple of days ago. We saw a video that was released today by a journalist in the Gaza Strip that appeared to show an Israeli tank on Salah al-Din Street, which is really the main thoroughfare through Gaza, shooting into a vehicle really much farther than we had known the Israeli military had managed to get so far into the Gaza Strip. And the big question is, does this mean that the big ground war that we've been talking about for so long has started? Israel hasn't formally announced that, and it's becoming less and less clear whether there will be a formal announcement that that has begun, or whether this slow but steady push deeper into the Gaza Strip is exactly what Israel has in mind, particularly if it is going to allow them to free some of their hostages.
And Josh, speaking of that, I mean, we're now learning there's been more attacks on U.S. troops there in the region. Can you give us some more information on that?
Yeah, that's right. The Pentagon telling our colleagues Courtney Kuby and Moshe Gaines and other reporters that just over the last 2 weeks, as we've seen this region really getting more tense, there have been 23 attacks on U.S. troops, both in Iraq and Syria, with 21 injuries to American troops, the vast majority of them suffering concussions. And this is exactly, Morgan, why the U.S. has been rushing more military resources not only to Israel, but to the broader Middle East.
All right. NBC News foreign correspondent Josh Lederman for us. Josh, thank you so much.
Thanks for watching. Stay updated about breaking news and top stories on the NBC News app or follow us on social media.